Hey bikers, Indian lovers, this is a 2020 Roadmaster. I bought a new set of Kst Handlebars, the Apache, to go on this brand new Roadmaster. So far I've taken the headlight out and taken the front grille out, which I left the assembly together and only took out the 3 screws. So the alignment screws are still left in place, and then that grill, which only took 2 screws on either side, they came out right here and right here, and then the rest of it, the rubber grommets, comes right out. Looking at the inside, I looked at some videos of some guy with a 2017 Indian. He was doing the same handlebar change. None of the wiring is the same as what he had displayed in his. He had like 3 wires over here to unplug and 3 little wires over here. Nothing here is identical. Even the headlight does not plug in correctly. It's correct, but the headlights are not what they were in the 18 and 17. I think the 19 and 20 have changed the internal wiring. So I cannot see where the wires go back here, but I can't see where they're going from here. So I seen a video, a guy was putting some headlights, these 2 new lamps here and a headlight, and basically, and I seen another guy that was putting a handlebar on, and he took the front fairing out. So that's what I'm going to do, is take the front fairing off so I can get to the wiring, because I can't see where it's going. In order to do that, I'm taking the windshield. I've taken some of these screws off. So I have these 5 screws that I'll have to take off to do that. And then on this fairing, there are 2 screws underneath here. And there are some screws here and here on both sides of this fairing. And then down inside here there are 4 screws down here, which is why you got to take the windshield off. And you take those 4 screws off and this whole front fairing will come out. And of course we'll have to unplug the lamps that are plugged in there, and I will set them aside. But then I'll be able to get to the handlebars and the wiring and figure out where these wires are going, because I just cannot see where they're going at all. 4 speaker screws underneath the speaker. The long ones go in the top part of the fairing. This goes on the lower part of the fairing. 1 screw goes here, and the long screw goes in here. The other 2 screws go underneath here. Trying to get to the handlebar. These 2 really long screws go into the speaker area, where I had to take the speaker grill off, and they go in right here on both sides. Okay, I got the front fairing off, taken out. It went straight, pretty straightforward. It took all these screws here. There's what, about 10 screws laying there to take the front fairing out. Pretty straightforward. Anyway, so after doing a lot of research and digging around, I finally took the wires, reached up in here and got up in there, and there's 2 wires that come out of the handlebars, and those 2 wires are coming through here and looping here. So you can see there's two wires here, two setups, and then it goes up, and this is the plug that goes to your handlebar. Alright, so look at what you got. This thing is, they got it tied in pretty good, you know. So if I'm not mistaken, if you'll look at the video KST and JP Cycles has for the Comanche, the Challenger, changing out the handlebars there, their same setup is like this. It's not like the gentleman that has the Roadmaster 2017, where he had like 4 cables over here and 3 cables over here, and they have little small connectors. It's all one big connector. So now that I've located, and I know for sure, for a fact, this is the cable. The other good thing is I can get up to the handlebar bolts, where the actual handlebar mounts come take the handlebar loose right there. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, right there. I'm pointing at that bolt. That's both of those bolts. I take those 2 loose and the handlebars will come out. But before I do that, you know, I took some notes and a little research from watching all this going on. By the way, these 2 plugs that come out right here, there's 2 here on this side, and these 2 here on this side, they go to the little running lights there on the side. You know, one for this one and then one for that one there. You can see the other wire hanging out, but they plug in. It's pretty straightforward. It's easy to do. It's not a big deal. And then the only other thing you got is your headlight lamp here, which plugs into your headlight. Because the way that the headlight is set up, it's not like the plugs that you've been seeing on YouTube, where you had a plug in the back here. It's actually, this is the setup. And so there's no plug or play or any bulbs or anything in the back here. But these headlights are okay. I'll probably change them eventually down the road, but for right now, they're doing a job. I got to get some handlebars on here, but I got these KSG handlebars. I'm going to unwrap them and start working my way through this thing. Now, what I am going to do is, you see right here, you're going to have to get the handlebar through this section here. It is too narrow. So the instructions, some of the other videos and instructions they had, you know, you had to take this screw loose right here, and then in the back here, right there, there's a screw right there where I'm pointing, right down there. And you only have to back that screw out a little bit. I've seen like outlaw biker, law-abiding biker, I'm sorry. He does a good job, but they didn't have to take that screw out all the way right there on their demonstration. All you had to do is back it out a couple times, and then you would take this whole thing and slide it forward a little bit and lift it up, and it'll come straight out. And with that being said, of course, I'm going to take the seat out. And once if you've watched some of the videos with JP Cycle and KSG, there's lots of videos on there how to take the seat off. So with that being said, I'm going to take this piece off. Then I'm going to take the 2 bolts off, and I'm going to take the slit tank. I'm not going to take it out completely like they did with the JP Cycles demonstration for the Challenger. But I'm basically I watched KSD do their video, and basically they just took the tank loose, unbolted it, and slid it back, you know, 4 or 5 inches. Just enough room so you can get the handlebar out and put the new handlebar in. Okay, so that's where I'm at right now, and let's keep rocking. Okay, as stated, this bolt right here, all I did was loosen it a little bit. I did not take it out all the way. And the head, you know, it just comes out here. Okay, so now what I got here is I got a tie wrap here, and then I got to unplug these two, and then this is ready to come out and ready to set aside. Okay, learning from all my brothers on YouTube, I took a permanent marker. What I did was I put a plus sign on this connector. I know that they're all a little different. And then this one, I put 1 dot. Dot, dot. Then this one, put 2 dots. So, you know, you can't mess it up. Right, and so I'm going to unplug this and carry on. Okay, folks, so what I did was I took the 2 screws out that's holding the tank here. There's only 2 bolts. They're the same size bolt that you would use to take your seat loose, same size bolt. And basically slid the tank back. I didn't disconnect anything. I just slid the tank back about 4 inches. And that gives me plenty of room now to get my handlebar in and out. Okay, now I got room to work on my handlebar and get everything I need done. And it's just a matter of sliding the tank forward, putting everything back together once I get the handlebar taken care of. All right, here we are. Okay, so seat, fairing, tank, bezel, and just the front, the speakers, and taking the front out. But this was very, very helpful to me because this part that unplugs, it has to go through this little hole right here. And there is one of these little grommet deals that actually fits in this hole right here that is holding the other side of this plug in place. It's nailed down right here. So when you pull it out, you have to take this off the back side of the plug so you can get it through this hole here. Okay, and it will go, as you can see, it's here. And this is where, right here in this little section where my thumb is, that's where this little piece fit on in the back and then mount up into here. So you can see I've got all kinds of slack now. And now we're ready to tackle the handlebars. Okay, I went down here and took a wrench and turned this. There's videos on it, but you turn this to align it down to where you can get the clutch cable loose. Lots of videos out there on how to do this. Very common issue. And then underneath here, I took the screw loose, pulled the bolt out, and now the clutch handle is ready to come out. This is a very easy process, not very difficult, and anybody can do this. And as you can see, there it goes. So there's your clutch cable. Let me try to get a focus on it. There's your clutch cable, the barrel right there, and you know, that goes right in here, Very easy process, not a big deal. Don't overcomplicate it. Okay. Okay, so I got these. I went ahead and took these off the handlebar. It's easier to just go ahead and break them loose. Take the T20 screws out and get it off the handlebar. That way you can get around, and as you can see, the plugs come right out. Now let me finish taking this one out. This is the clutch side. And now I have the throttle side off. And of course you can see, obviously the big cable goes in the big plug. And you have one small white cable that goes into this white cable. I think that's for the heated grip. And this black cable coming from the throttle, that goes up just above the yellow. And then this black cable, which comes from the handlebar, goes over here on this side. All right, here we go. Okay, I've got everything off the handlebars. And well, not everything, got to take that piece off. That would be everything. But I'm going to go up under here. I'm taking a 19 millimeter socket, and I'm using a breaker bar to break the bolts loose. Now some people suggest that a socket be used, or some prefer a wrench. There's not a lot of throw with a wrench, but so I'm just going to take this and break it. Hang on. It's kind of hard to break with holding this. Anyway, I'm going to break this loose and then start taking the bolts out a little at a time. Alright, I gotta let go of the phone. Alright, I've broke the bolts loose on both sides, and now I'm starting to loosen them. I just got them. They're very, very loose, and you can see the handlebars are starting to drop. So let me let go of the phone and go ahead and get these handlebars going. Matter of fact, why don't I just set the phone right here? You can watch me struggle. So I'm going to grab a hold of the handlebars and guard it so it don't hit my tank while I'm taking the handlebars out by sticking my arm underneath here like this. Bolts are coming out easy. It's a 19 millimeter, two bolts, one bolt on each side. Once you got everything taken loose, just spin the rest out with my fingers. Drop the wrench. Pull the bolt out. Okay. Now, the moment of truth. Got it loose. And now we have to feed the wires through the front. The all-inclusive, elusive I'm trying to get these wires pulled through here. There we go, guys. From this moment. Okay, a little tight right there. Sweet. Okay, so there's what we're looking at. there's the whole assembly. Taken out, wires from the factory, still installed, you know. And as you can see, it's not like the 2017 and some of the other videos I've seen where there's 2 cables coming out both direction and there's like 7 connectors. They've simplified it to 1 connector, so everything's going to come out this way. So I'm about to tie this harness to go through these handlebars. And what I've done is I've taken a piece of that lamp cord. I cut 1 strand off and then stripped some of it out. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie it down down away from these ends. I'm going to tie it down here. Okay, so I'll just wrap this cable around and twist this on. And what I'm doing is by tying it down here, when I go to tape it on, I'm going to tape this up the length. Okay, I am not putting any stress on these very fragile connectors. Okay, and that's the whole purpose of it, so we don't stress out these connectors. You know, they can't take a pull, but the wire can, so by typing it, putting it on here and then taping it up. Take some number 33 plus or whatever type of black vinyl tape you have will work fine. And if you notice, you want to make your tape wrap tight, like any most electrical joints, whatever you're pulling through or something. Take it and pull the tape a little bit, make it tight, so it's a one smooth transition trying to go through that notch in the bar. All right, good deal. All right, so this is the final product that you're looking at. It's one smooth piece now and no stress. These are protected and we're good to go. All right, let's pull the rest of this harness into the handlebars. Hey, this is Engine Joe. Anyway, second day, and what I've got is I've got the risers on and everything. I pre-fit it yesterday to make sure the handlebars are going to sit where I want them to sit. And so where you take this and set it, it's about 3/8 of an inch from this opening to the top right here. That's around 3/8 of an inch, which looks good, and my handlebars are sitting where I want them, and your controls are facing flat, straight out, not up in the air. So I preset it and everything. Now I'm torquing down the riser bolts, the part that's holding the handlebars itself, to 18 foot-pounds, which is what's called in specification. So go ahead and get that done. There's that one. And sometimes you forget. And of course, put a little Loctite on it. Okay, let me check it again. So, the handlebar is now tied, torqued down, and now I'm going to go ahead and put some of the controls onto the handlebars before I mount it. Okay, I've got the handlebars in, and now I've got these babies in. They're looking awesome. Got them bolted up, wires in, ran the harness, run your harness over the top of the triple tree, okay? This is the triple tree. Run it over the top of it. That's the part that the handlebar mounts to. You want to take your bolts and torque these at 60 foot-pounds. Not inch-pounds, foot-pounds. Very important. I'm going to go ahead and torque those. I can't torque and hold the handlebars at the same time. Make sure that these you had already put Loctite on these 4 bolts here that hold the handlebar at 18 foot-pounds. Okay, that's already done, so I'm just going to do the bolts now, just 2 of them. Okay guys, I got the wiring harness over the triple tree, fished through here, and brought it back through this opening right here where it originally came through. Alright, now I've got it ready to plug back in. Also, on the back here, I put that little holder back in that was originally in there. You know, I slid it out, and now I put it in place. And you stick it in that hole right there where it comes from. Just push it down, and that holds it in place. All right, continuing with the handlebars. There she is. I absolutely love the handlebars. It was a little job. It's about, you know, and that's because I was being meticulous, taking the handlebar out, putting it back in, taking it out, adjusting it, getting it perfect. So I've got probably 8 hours in it, and probably in reality, now knowing what I know now, about a 4 to 6 hour job at worst. If you had a buddy, it's a big help. But absolutely love the bike, love the handle of the bike, the handlebars, and the handling of the bike. So anyway, guys, get some wind therapy and wind therapy and get out and ride.